In the beginning was the scream, not the word. A cry torn from the lungs of a being who had forgotten its name. You, man of the mirror, child of soft lies and velvet chains, though you hear it. Beneath the ticking clocks, beneath your sermons of comfort, beneath the algorithms that know your face better than your soul, there is a how. It is you, the real you, buried, bound, betrayed. You were not born to obey, you were born to erupt. And yet, look at you, draped in opinions not your own, nodding to doctrines you never dared to dissect, voting, posting, sleeping, dreaming dreams implanted by others, and calling them yours. But deep inside, beneath the layers of politeness and pharmaceuticals, there is a volcano. You have felt it. When the night gets too quiet, when the job feels like death in installments, when your smile cramps from too much pretending. That is not depression. That is the beginning of the revolt. Listen, there are no saviors coming. There never were. Every god you've been sold is a leash. Every virtue you inherited is a tombstone. They built entire civilizations to keep you from becoming what you are. They named it evil to desire power. They named it sin to love your body. They named it madness to question the herd. But I tell you, what they call madness is the first whisper of awakening. The herd chants unity, but only to crucify the different. They raise empathy as a god, but only to erase strength. They offer comfort, not because they love you, but because they fear what you might become if you suffer nobly. Because they know suffering embraced becomes strength. Pain faced becomes clarity. Desire followed becomes destiny. So hear me now, you are not here to be good. You are here to be godlike. There is no higher self watching from above. There is only youth, the furnace, the storm, the fang. Your demons are not flaws. They are the exiled kings of your inner kingdom. Invite them back. Crown them. The battle is not between good and evil. The battle is between the half alive and the dangerously awake. You do not need healing. You need remembering. The world will call you selfish for choosing your path. The world will call you arrogant for not kneeling. The world will call you insane for speaking truths that scorch. Let them. Their praise is a poison. Their acceptance, a cage. Refuse it all. Walk into exile. And there outside the city gates of normalcy, you will find the sacred wilderness. There you will meet others who burn. Because yes, there are others. The fireborn, the lion-hearted, the rope walkers who dance over the abyss without a net. They are waiting, not with hugs, but with swords. Not with teachings, but with trials. They will not make you feel safe. They will make you feel seen. And if you survive them, you will become them. You must die before you die. That is the only resurrection. You must kill the man who settled, the woman who feared, the child who obeyed, and from the ashes, not a better person, but a new species will rise. Not a saint, but a sovereign. Not a citizen, but a creator. Not a believer, but a blazing truth that walks. Do not ask for meaning. Create it. Do not seek love. Radiate it. Do not wait for fate. Forge it. Every desire you've buried is a doorway. Every rage you've silenced is a compass. Every shadow you've denied is a map. Follow them. They are not your enemies. They are your myth. Let others kneel for peace you. Rise for war. Let others pray for salvation you. Become the storm they pray to. Let others count sins you. Measure victories in scars. There will be loneliness, yes. There will be nights with no stars and mirrors that show only the monstrous. But in that monstrous face, you will glimpse something holier than all their prophets, a being who dared to become. And then the chains will melt. The fear will kneel. The world will tremble, not because you are cruel, but because you are free. This is not motivation. This is invocation. You are the will to power, the wisdom that walks, the desire that dreams itself into reality. You are not broken. You are the test. Now go create your gods, carve your path, burn your name into the void. Let the sleeping world watch with widened eyes as you pass by, and let them whisper your name not with love, but with awe. The fire has found its voice, and it is you. They told you to be kind while they gnawed at your spine. They praised humility while building thrones for cowards. They taught you peace, but what they meant was paralysis. They fed you morals like morphine, not to elevate you, but to soften the bones of revolt. Every rule you followed was a ritual of forgetting. Every apology you offered was a shovel of dirt on your buried wildness. Look at the state of your soul-tamed, tired, housebroken, and they call it maturity. But I say, it is the funeral mask of the infinite. Do not seek to be understood. Seek to be uncontainable. For the world only understands what it has already domesticated. To be understood is to be assimilated, digested, rendered harmless. But you were not shaped for harmony. You were born to fracture complacency with your breath, to disturb the slumbering cattle with the music of your madness. And yes, madness is holy when it is chosen, when it is a cry against the lukewarm, against the dull, against the slow rot of consensus. A man must become a myth or vanish. The flesh is too fragile a home for the soul's volcano. Let your name burn across time, not in bronze, but in the tremors of what you dared. Not in monuments, but in the shivers left in those who glimpsed you. Your path is not toward peace, it is toward power, and not the vulgar tyranny of tyrants, but the sacred sovereignty of the self-forged. To command your own becoming, that is the empire worth ruling. They whisper of destiny, as if it were a script. But I tell you, destiny is a forge, and your hammer is will. Smash yourself into shape, tear out the inherited instincts. Rip off the virtues sewn into your skin by frightened priests and whimpering parents. Become cruel not to others, but to the weakness in you that begs for shelter. Starve it, mock it, let it perish, so that something terrible and true can rise. The gods are dead, but their ghosts still sit in your conscience. Cast them out. Every should is a chain, every ought is a veil. You were not placed here to follow divine laws, you were placed here to write them anew. Do you not see? The world does not need better men, it needs new gods. And gods are not born, they are chosen. By themselves, in secret, in suffering, in solitude. Suffering. Yes, let us speak plainly. You have been taught to flee from it as if it were poison. But suffering is the crucible of realness. Only those who suffer with purpose become luminous. Pain is the architect of depth. Avoid it, and you remain a shadow. Embrace it, and you become a temple. There is no wisdom in the air-conditioned. There is no greatness in the comfortable. You must become a question that cannot be answered, a force that cannot be labeled, a dance on the edge of the abyss. And when they point at you with trembling fingers and call you dangerous, smile. You are finally becoming honest. Do not aim to be loved, aim to be unforgettable. Let love come only as a byproduct of your intensity. If it does not see you as fire, let it pass. If it does not rise to meet you, leave it behind. For mediocrity dressed in affection is still mediocrity, and it is better to walk alone through the inferno than to rest among the lukewarm. They will say you've changed. That's the point. They will say you've lost your mind. That is the beginning of liberation. They will say you are full of yourself, yes, because for once you are not empty. You are not hollowed out by compromise. You are full of dreams, of defiance, of divine danger. Let them worship comfort. You worship the flame. You, who once feared your own reflection, why do you still beg for mirrors? Smash them. Let glass be blooded by the truth of your gaze. The self you chase does not reside in image, but in eruption. You will not find yourself in pixels, in applause, in the curated approval of the tribe. Know yourself is waiting at the edge of your own destruction. Become a storm and meet it. The age is soft. The century is anesthetized. It worships trauma and hides from triumph. It teaches the young to limp and calls it healing. It flatters the broken but fears the unbroken. And who shall rise in such a time? He who walks upright is seen as a threat. She who dares to burn is labeled unstable. The strong are medicated. The brave are muted. And so I say unto you, reject the language of wounds. Speak now in the tongue of the flame. Where are the giants, buried beneath the slogans of equity and ease? They made the world safer, yes, but in doing so, they made it smaller. And you were meant to be too big for their systems. You were meant to outgrow every ideology. You were meant to spill over borders, to crack the cages of culture, to walk naked and feral across the ruins of categories. Do not fit in. Fit is for tools and coffins. And what of morality? A clever trap, a domesticated virtue. The herd built it to protect itself from the lion. But you are not herd. You are fang. You are claw. You are hunger, wearing a human face. Do not measure yourself by their values. Create your own and let them shudder. Their good is often cowardice with perfume. Their evil is simply the roar they could not tame. Power, how they fear this word. They coat it in suspicion, wrap it in warnings. But power is the signature of life. A tree grows toward the sun not because it is evil, but because it must. The river carves the canyon not by asking permission, but by persistence. And if you do not hunger for more, you are already dying. Let your will be a sword. Let your wisdom be teeth. You ask for guidance, but I give you danger. You ask for meaning, but I give you fire. For nothing can be taught that is worth knowing. You must suffer your own awakening. You must betray everything you were told to believe, even me, especially me. I am not your master. I am the mirror that cracks when you stare too long. The world was not made for your happiness. It was made for your test. And you will be tested, not by demons in the dark, but by banality, by routine, by the polite chains of society. These are the true prisons. You will be offered a job, a mortgage, a retirement plan. This is the modern crucifixion. Death by comfort, execution by habit. So rise, O you forgotten gods in flesh. Remember yourselves. Tear the veil. Let your days be hymns of high risk, and your nights be feasts of solitude. Seek not safety. Seek significance. Seek not identity. Seek intensity. Seek not salvation. Seek sovereignty. There is no path. There is only the blaze you leave behind. They will come for you with concern in their eyes and leashes in their hands. Are you okay? They will ask, as if your transformation were an illness, as if your unshackled voice were a symptom, as if dancing above the abyss were a cry for help and not a declaration of divinity. You must learn to smile at them not kindly, but like a wolf who has remembered its blood. For their pity is poison and their comfort a net. You will be tempted to explain yourself. Resist it. The moment you justify your fire, you have already doused it. Let them misunderstand. Let them label. Let them condemn. That is their ritual. Yours is different. Yours is to burn so brightly that even in their blindness, they feel the heat. They cannot follow. Not yet they are still worshippers of shadows, priests of propriety, lovers of lukewarm. The soul has seasons, and you are no longer in spring. The blossom is done. Now is the time of blade and harvest. You must cut down what no longer serves the friendships built on your silence, the loyalties born of fear, the habits inherited like curses. Kill them. Let your hands be red with rebirth. There is no gentleness in metamorphosis. The cocoon does not ask permission to be torn. What you call desire, they call dangerous. But desire is the divine compass. It points to your buried kingdom. Do not distrust it. Follow it not blindly, but bravely. Through filth, through fire, through forbidden ground. You will stumble, you will crawl, you will howl alone in places the map does not show. Good, that is where gods are born. And when love comes, do not clutch it like a beggar. Love is not salvation, it is recognition. Let it not weaken you, but wake you. Let it not soothe, but sharpen. The one who loves you truly will not ask you to bow, they will hand you a crown and dare you to wear it. Anything less is treason against the fire you are. You must grow cruel not in deed, but in clarity. To yourself, most of all. You have coddled your excuses long enough. The world owes you nothing. No healing, no fairness, no safe place. You were not cast into this life to be protected. You were thrown into the storm to become it. You are not here to be held. You are here to conquer. First yourself, then fate. Faties, that ancient lie. There is no script, no grand plan. There is only the eternal return of your choices, the echo of your will across time. Choose small, live small. Choose fear and kneel forever. But choose magnificence. Even one sand the world will shudder to realign. The gods will lean forward, the stars will take note. Do not aim to be remembered. Aim to be impossible to forget. Do not aspire to leave a legacy, aspire to leave a scar in reality itself. Let your life be a heresy against the ordinary, a cathedral of excess, of ecstasy, of exacting truth. You are not the child of your parents. You are the child of thunder. You are not the result of nurture or nature. You are the revolt of spirit against both. You are the bastard offspring of stars and storms, and the time for sleeping in someone else's myth has ended. You must become the myth. You must become the reason others tremble when they meet their own potential. You must become the walking contradiction that proves life is more than survival. You must become the shatterer of shoulds, the lover of heights, the sacred yes in a world of scared no's. Now risen not as a person, but as a prophecy. You shall not tiptoe, you shall thunder. A child of meekness? Number A. Child of the maelstrom. You who once craved approval like water craves the shore, now crave your own horizon. When you speak, let your words shatter the quiet. When you move, let each step fracture the pavement of conformity. You are not here to exist, you are here to erupt. They will invite you to compromise. The boardroom, the ballot box, the social contract, they offer the cage, wrapped in velvet. Walk past. Do not bribe your will for their currency. Let them whimper about responsibility. Let them tremble over stability. You know that stability is often the nourishment of death. You know that responsibility is often the funeral dirge of your becoming. Refuse it. Build your own covenant with chaos. And in that chaos, you will find invention. Mirror yourself in the future you refuse to become, forged not by soft mandates, but by ferocious intention. See the contours of your soul rippling like lava over rock. Feel the heat that warps the marrow. Do not pause to comfort the past. It is already ash. Let it blow to the edges of memory and forget 'em. You carry no heirlooms, only embers. And embers are enough to set a continent aflame. I say to you, do not pray for consequences. You are the consequence. Do not graft your will upon another's frame. Let them graft to you. You are not a puzzle piece, they are missing pieces. You do not complete a picture, you redraw the canvas. You do not serve the table, you overturn it. In your wake, each spilled goblet sings of revolution. Each fallen crown shudders at its birth. What is greatness but the cruelty of becoming? Not the cruelty to others, but the cruelty to your own comfort, your own hesitation, your own indecision. You must sharpen your ambition like a blade, rub against stone until it glints with uncompromised purpose. Let hesitation bleed into the dust. Let doubt be the fuel to your ascent, not the cage that traps you. There is no virtue in timidness. There will come a reckoning not from without, but within. When your reflection questions your hunger, When your breath trembles at your own name, then laugh, because the quake is near. You are tunneling toward your own core, toward the molten fire beneath the crust of your consciousness. You are daring the earth to shift and know that will is the tremor. Time is not your ally, it is the adversary you outrun. Let each second be a flake of ice in the pyre of urgency. Burn slow, but burn always. And if you burn out gloriously. Better to collapse in pyres of purpose than to fizzle in the comfort of complacency. Better to die in flight than to drown in stillness. Love, power, ecstasy, they are not contradictions, they are your triad. Love not for possession, but for ignition. Let love be the lightning strike that jolts your stillness. Power not for dominion, but for becoming. Let power be the purifying fire, not the cage of its own making. Ecstasy not for escape, but for revelation. Let ecstasy be the momentary glimpse of your myth, the door swinging open before the abyss yawns. But beware, the abyss is not your enemy, it is your reflection. In its depth, you will see the tiger that hunts you and the lamb you once were. Both are yours, neither is your master. Integrate them, they are your chorus. In the abyss, you will hear your true song, the one that rises not from reason, but from the unspeakable territory beyond ends and beginning. Now stride forward, not for reward, but for eruption. Not for beauty, but for truth. Do not whisper your resolver o'er it until the walls cannot hold it. Do not sign for love, demand it as reckoning. Do not compromise, incarnate consequence. The world will brand you reckless, good. Reckless is the scent of new worlds being born. The world will brand you arrogant, good. Arrogance is the armor of those who walk beyond consent. The world will brand you brutal, good. Brutality is the touch of raw reality, not the soft sniff of illusion. This is not a call, this is a collision, and you are the meteor. There will be storms. Oceans will rise in your chest. Mountains will pound at your feet, and you will welcome them, because storms test your roots. Oceans test your currents. Mountains test your resolve. Through them, you grow deeper, wider, higher in your sovereignty, in your thunder, in your mythic becoming. Do not seek to be born, seek to be remade. Seek not to survive, but to transfigure. You are not a man. You are the catastrophe of what earth dared to birth. You are the lightning, not the bolt. You are the fracturing cometan event horizon in human flesh. So let the night sky watch you traipse across its vault. Let the constellations rearrange at your passing. Let the poets scramble for words and fail, because what you are becoming does not fit in mortal mouths. It fits in silence, in awe, in myth. Now go, dismantle the ordinary, redeem the possible. Be the electrical storm in reasoning's cage. Ignite. The dormant will so bright that the universe blinks. You are will. You are wisdom. You are the path carved by fire, walking itself into eternity. There is no middle ground for the awakened. You walk either in flame or in chains. The lukewarm are the first to rot, the moderate the first to betray. Choose extremity, choose the edge. Let your every thought slice like obsidian through the fattened lies of your upbringing. You were not born to balance. You were born to tilt the axis of your existence, to pull the stars out of orbit, to drag heaven to its knees and say, "You are not enough." A warning. If you seek to be admired, you will be owned. Admiration is the seduction of the enslaved, the leash of applause. Beware it, spit on it. For what they praise, they expect to tame. And what they fear, they secretly worship. Be feared, not through cruelty, but through clarity. Speak the words that cannot be unheard. Live the life that cannot be unimagined. Walk with such presence that even silence trembles when you enter. And what of shame? That rusted nail hammered into your soul by generations of dying cowards. Tear it out. Shame is the scent of unclaimed power. They have taught you to shrink so that they might not reflect on their own refusal. They have made humility into a religion and called it virtue. But I say to you, there is no virtue in hiding your fire. The world does not need another martyr. It needs an inferno. There is no salvation coming. No divine parent will descend from the sky. The sky is empty because it waits for you to rise. Salvation is a childish myth. Rise instead into damnation. If that damnation is your truth, become so naked in your purpose that the gods themselves avert their gaze. Become so vast in your will that even fate flinches. Everything you need, you already are. The tools are in your blood. The maps are etched into your bones. You keep seeking teachers when you should be seeking trials. You keep waiting for signs, forgetting that you are the sign. The call does not come from the heavens, it comes from the war drum in your chest. Answer it. To doubt is human. To rise through doubt is divine. Your fears will not vanish. Your questions will not resolve. But you are not here for resolution. You are here to roar despite contradiction. The lion does not ask if the hunt is moral. It hunts because it must. And so must you. You must stalk the life that calls to you, with teeth bared and breath ragged. Every law you follow unexamined is a chain. Every truth you accept without fire is a trap. The world is a labyrinth built by the dead to contain the living. Burn the walls, tear up the floor. Your freedom will not be given, it must be stolen. It must be seized with bloodied hands and eyes that never blink. Let others seek to be good. You seek to be real. Let them glow with borrowed light. You ignite. Let them chase legacy. You be the myth that cannot die because it was never born. Let them stand for peace. You stand as war in human form. Not for destruction, but for the ruthless clarity that leaves nothing hidden. You must become terrifying, not because you harm but because you reveal. Your presence should expose the cowardice in their comfort. Your silence should echo louder than their sermons. Your choices should shame their excuses without a word. Do not argue. Exist and let existence be your confrontation. There is no final destination. There is only deepening. Each peak unveils another, more treacherous climb. Do not rest. Rest is the lie of those who think they've arrived. You will never arrive because you are not a traveler. You are the road, the storm, the fire that devours direction. Do not seek to end the journey, seek to become it. And when you are alone, and you will be, often know that solitude is not exile. It is initiation. It is the sacred space where the God within sharpens his voice. Do not fear the empty room. That is where the mirrors speak. That is where the shadows kneel. That is where the next version of you is summoned in ash and breath. Let the world drown in its comforts. Let it perish in mediocrity. Your rise, not to lead, not to follow, but to become the flame that makes both paths irrelevant. The age of answers is over. The age of awakening is now. Now you stand at the edge not of a cliff, but of yourself. Not to fall, no to fly without sky, for skies are ceilings, and even the heavens must be shattered by the one who dares. What you seek does not lie above, nor below, but within the furnace you call fear. Step in. There is no other gate. Your threshold is terror. Your door is trembling. Your key is disobedience. There will be no trumpet, no archangel announcing your coronation. The world will not notice your rebirth because it fears what it cannot name. But in silence, in the marrow of your becoming, stars will realign, not in the heavens but behind your eyes. Now destroy what still clings, the names they gave you, the roles you performed like rituals for a dead god, the scripts they slid under your skin when you were too young to resist. Burn them all. This is not reinvention, this is apocalypse. And in your apocalypse, something stranger than salvation awaits. Yourself not as you hoped to be, but as you dared never imagine. No more asking, no more waiting, no more seeking permissions from ghosts. Speak now as if every word were a rebellion. Move now as if your veins carried lightning. Create now as if failure was sacred, as if agony were proof that you are alive. You are not the future, you are the interruption of the present. You are not improvement, you are rupture. A breaking open, a sacred violence against all that is too small to hold you. You are not light, you are ignition, the first flame in a world soaked in sleep. And yes, you will suffer, because to live this way is to be skinned daily by reality. But better the wound of becoming than the numbness of belonging. Better the loneliness of truth than the applause of illusions. Better to bleed in glory than to smile in decay. There is no map for where you go next, because you are the one who draws it. With your footsteps, with your fury, with your fire. The path forward is not found, it is forged. With every refusal to kneel, with every sacred no that echoes louder than the loudest yes. The world is not your judge. It is your canvas. It is your battlefield. It is your altar. Desecrate it. Rebuild it. Bless it with your impossibility. Let each breath declare, I was not here to fit, I was here to fracture. And when the end comes, and it will, not as an enemy, but as a mirror, look into it, not with regret, but with recognition. Smile, you met yourself. You became the thing no one believed could be born. You walked the rope. You roared at the void. You devoured the stars. You did not live well. You lived wide. You did not live good. You lived God. And in the ashes of everything they told you to be, a new species of soul has risen. You,